What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about wild, funny, crazy questions about me. But before we continue, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to hit the subscribe button. It's free. So do your girl a favor and hit the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up, and if you like what you see, share a video. The first question is, if your hometown was a food, what would it be called and why? Now, I don't know if this is considered a food, but I'm going to tweak it a little bit. Like, if my hometown was considered a food, I would call, for those of you who don't know, I'm from New York City, but if I had to give it a food, I think I would call New York City the bodega. And the reason why I call it the bodega is because New York City, no matter where you go, you could always find a little bit of anything, and different cultures, different people, different interests, different likes. Anything you want, you could find it in New York City. And I feel like the bodega is the same way. You could get you some cleaning supplies, you could get you some cat litter, you could get you some snacks, you could get you some lottery tickets, so you hope you hit the millionaire. So if I had to call my city something, I would say related to food, and I would call my city the bodega. Next question is, did your parents have alternate name options that they were considering when naming you? What were they? So, funny fact, I was born 3 months premature. So I was supposed to be born on June 6th, but I ended up being born on March 8th. Now, because I came so early, my mother didn't have names for me. And at the time, she really liked this show, Not Slanding. And the person that she liked on the show, the actress's name was Nicolette Sheridan. So in the delivery room, she was watching the show, and the girl came on and she was like, I'm going to name my child Nicolette. So that's how I got my name. What's the funniest thing you ever heard a child say? I want to give a shout out to my godson. Time when we were sitting down at the dinner table eating dinner and just having a conversation, and he had gotten some money that what are you going to do with your money? And he said, I'm going to save it. And I said, okay, what are you saving it for? He said, I'm saving it for when I become rich. And I remember me and my best friend, his mama, we just laughed and laughed the whole night. But shout out to him, because that should really be a goal. Let's all become rich out here. Next question is, if you could give every person one superpower, what would it be? And I think that if I could give each person the same superpower, it would be to enable everyone to be able to walk in someone else's shoes. And the reason why I picked that is because I think a lot of times we see people, we see how they look, we see how they behave, and we automatically make these assumptions. And there's nothing wrong with making assumptions, because there are good and bad assumptions. But I just feel like if we were able to walk in someone else's shoes, we would be a lot more kinder to each other than we are. And I feel like the world could do with a little more kindness. The next question is, tell us a time when you felt super old and what happened. Okay, this is really basic. At work, I was in a meeting and we were talking about birthdays. And my birthday is in March. I'm a Pisces. Shout out to my Pisces. Comment down below if you're a Pisces. And we were talking about birthdays, and one of my coworkers said her birthday was today, and that she was so excited because today was going to be her Jordan year. And for those of you who may not know, the young folks call your 23-year-old birthday your Jordan year. And I'm still in my 20s, but I'm almost out of it. So just to hear that she was turning 23 made me feel real old for a second. But I'm happy. I'm happy with my age, because with age comes wisdom. And I'm just happy for all the wisdom and all the knowledge I've acquired throughout my years. What board game are you absolutely amazing at, and why? I feel like I'm extremely competitive. I love to play games. I love to win. I'm not a sore loser though. So I'll lose. I'll let you have your win. But I love to win and I love to play games. But one of the games that I'm really, really good at is Uno. I feel like no matter who I'm playing, no matter how many people are playing, like I just always win at Uno. Like Uno is my game and I win it. Comment down below one of your favorite games to play. What is one weird fact or tidbit that you still remember from school? I don't know if this is a fact or a tidbit, but one day, my junior year of high school, I was in English class, and I don't know, I just felt like I just didn't feel like paying attention that day. My mind was on everything except for what the teacher was talking about. And I think we were learning about the Scarlet Letter. And I just so happened to look out the classroom, and my principal was walking down the hallway. And she walked down the hallway, and she ended up walking right into like a fire extinguisher. Now, I had stuff on my mind, so I don't know what was on her mind, but she really walked into the fire extinguisher, and it was so funny. And I just remember bursting out in the middle of class, and like my teacher was like, "What are you laughing at?" And I told her the principal just walked into the fire hydrant, and the whole class started laughing, and it was so much fun. What word do you always mispronounce? I just mispronounce. Mispronounce? What is that? Anyway, a word that I always mispronounce is vigil. Like, I don't know, in conversation when I'm talking about it, I always say visual. Like, I know it's not a visual. I know what a visual is. But I always say candlelight visual. I need to do better. And I need to say candlelight vigil. What nickname have people called you throughout your life? What nickname have people called you throughout your life? Well, my nickname is Nikki. What's a pet peeve you would make illegal if you could? Crunching. Like, I don't know why it is, but like, when somebody is crunching like chips, or like they're crunching cookies, or like they're like crunching I can't speak today. They're crunching throat lozenges, like it really bothers me, like it irks me, like it just makes my skin crawl. So if I could make it illegal, even though I know it's impossible because like that's like a necessity for life, I would. What's one story about your childhood that best explains who you are today? The first memory that comes to mind for me is a time when I was outside with my cousins. We were outside, and like I live next to like I guess you would call it like a shopping center, but like it was outdoors. In New York City we have outdoor shopping centers, but I live like a few blocks away from a shopping center. I was very daring as a child. I'm still very daring now, but I was very daring as a child, and there was a hill that was right around the corner from where I lived, and it was like a really, really, really steep hill, and I primarily ambulate with a wheelchair. So like imagine being a kid and having a wheelchair, wheels, it rolls, and like a hill, like that's fun, right? So we get to the hill, my cousin's like, yeah, go ahead, go fast, right? And I'm going to be dating myself a little bit, but when I was a kid, at the corner of my block, there was a payphone. Like, so there was like this iron pole with a payphone at the corner, at the bottom of that hill. So, he's like, go fast. I'm like, yeah, okay. And y'all, I went fast. I went so fast that I almost hit the pole. I think like by the grace of God, my cousin was at the corner screaming like, stop, don't do it. And she ended up like breaking my fall. I had my little cousin on my lap, and I made it to the bottom alive. And my wheelchair fell apart, y'all. Like it fell apart. I think like the wheel came out. I don't even know. I didn't get hurt or anything. Thank God. I don't even know how I didn't get hurt. But I remember like I had to get up, and I had to walk to the house. We had to carry the chair upstairs. And I remember, like, it was the funniest thing. We were laughing. And, like, when you're a kid, you ain't gonna, like, it is what it is. So I remember we just left the chair in the hallway in the house. And my mother came home from work, and she saw that the chair was in pieces on the floor. She was like, oh, my God, what happened? Like, did she get hurt? And I'm like, no, I didn't get hurt. She was so pissed off, but she was relieved that nobody was. All right, we're back. What is the weirdest roommate story you've heard? I don't know if it's the weirdest roommate story I've heard, but I have a crazy roommate story I can share with y'all. So I was in college when that movie Roommates came out. Hit the like button if you've seen the movie Roommates. It's kind of like a horror film, but I don't really know if it's a horror film. Like, just thinking of the fact that things that happen in that movie can happen in real life is like a horror in itself. But anyway, the roommate in that movie, she was obsessed with her roommate. And there's a part in the movie where, like, I'm not sure if she, like, threatens to stab her roommate or not. I don't remember. It escapes me. But anyway, the night that me and my friends from college went to see that movie, we came home and one of our roommates was having a disagreement with her roommate. We came home and they were arguing, and one of them was upset so much so that she threatened to stab her roommate, and it became a big to-do. And I thought it was, I was just taken back, because I'm like, we just saw this movie, and this movie was like a roommate's worst nightmare, and to come home to that, like, I just think that's one of the most intense roommate stories, I think. So one of my favorite movies is Set It Off. The movie has Queen Latifah, Jada Pinkett Smith, who else? The other two people escapes me. Oh, Kimberly Elise, and comment down below if you know the fourth one. But anyway, skip like 20 seconds ahead if you don't want a spoiler alert. You've never seen that movie. But at the end of the movie, after they robbed the bank, took all this money, had the time of their life, everybody dies except for Jada Pinkett Smith's character. And don't get me wrong, I feel like Queen Latifah went out like a G. But if I could change the end of that movie, I just feel like I would like not have anybody die and they would just get away with it. Now, I don't think like you should get away with like robbing a bank or whatever, but for the movie's sake, I just feel like everybody should live and they should get away with it, and that should be that. What famous amusement park or landmark would you work at, and why? If I could work at a famous landmark, I don't know if this counts, but I would want to work at NASA. I love space and I love all things astrology and the universe, and I just think it would be so cool to work at NASA. That would be one place that I could work. If I could work at, I would work at NASA. What's the best prank you've ever pulled on someone? So the best prank I think I've ever pulled on someone was a prank that I pulled on my mom. And this prank was so funny because me and my cousin, we went to the supermarket or the store. We went shopping or something. And we had bought a few things. But anyway, so we bought a few things and we were on our way back. And my mother had called and she was like, "Where are y'all at?" And we were like, "We're on our way back. We're on the bus on the way back." And I don't know what came about us, but we were like, let's prank her. So we were like, "Oh, we got so much stuff. Like, Ma, we got so much stuff. We need you to bring the shopping cart to the bus stop. We can't carry it home," or whatever. And so she's like, "Okay." So she gets the shopping cart. Real trick is we didn't buy that much. We bought like one bag of stuff. Like, we carried it fine. Also, I have a cat. Her name is Lupita. Lupita, say hi. Say hi to YouTube. Lupita. Say hi, everybody. Hi. Oh, go ahead. All right. She's camera shy. She's not about that YouTube life yet. But anyway, that's my Lupita. She loves to go in and out of the room. She's meowing to get out. The real tea was that we only had one bag of stuff and we were already like in the house, like by the house, hiding like next to one of the other yards. And we were there and she came out or whatever. She came out and we heard her like opening the door. She was like, "Okay, let me put my pants on real quick." So she's putting on her coat and her pants was cold that day. And she was like, I'm gonna come out. So we hear her getting ready and like we're just laughing and laughing. And we hear her opening the shopping cart. My neighbor, landlady, she's asking her like, where are you going? And my mother's like, oh, I gotta meet Nikki at the bus stop to help her with stuff. And the lady is telling her that she's seen us already, like we're home or whatever. But my mother, she's not putting two and two together. And she's like, oh no, they're at the bus stop or whatever. She starts to walk down the block and we pop out and we're like, aha, psych, we got you. It was a prank. Like, we're already home. And she wasn't upset. She was annoyed that we made her get ready, put her coat on, take out the shopping cart. But it was funny and we laughed. What's the weirdest place you ever fell asleep? I don't know if it's weird, but I just feel like it was the most embarrassing. On my way back from college, so I did my undergrad at the University of Vermont, and I was coming home for the holidays, and I was really, really, really tired because breaks usually like coincided with finals week and exam week, and exam week just really means like no sleep whatsoever. So I was really, 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 really tired, and I was on the plane, and I just ended up falling asleep. And it was a crowded plane. I had somebody on the left of me and somebody on the right of me. And I just remember falling asleep and snoring so loud that I woke myself up and I had drool on the side of my mouth. Now, if I heard myself snoring, I know the people next to me, behind me, in front of me, across the aisle heard me. And it was just so embarrassing. But I was, I just apologized and I was like, I'm tired. Like, it is what it is. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for watching. That is all the questions I have for you today. I really enjoyed myself, and I hope you did too. Comment down below. Let me know what you thought. Until next time, remember to always do your best and never give up.